Hello, 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 everybody. It is so good to see all of your digital non-existent faces in the chat. There is a hype train going. Thank you so much, everyone, for that. We're so excited for this episode. It's gonna be intense. Max isn't here to stop our shenanigans, so let's just dive into it. Hi, thank you for tuning in to Arc 3, Episode 10 of Transplanar RPG. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she, and I am the GM and executive producer behind this shindig, Transplanar RPG, which is our all-transgender, people of color-led, 100% homebrew, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live-streamed actual play campaign set in a non-colonial, anti-orientalist world. I will pass along introductions to my right to Lyra.
Oh, we're not doing the different... Okay, that's fine. I thought we were going to do a different order, but that's okay. Hello, everyone.
Lyra, you are really quiet. Is there a way you can get closer
to your mic?
Am I really quiet? That's better.
I can turn myself up? How's that?
Yes, please. Yes, okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name's Lyra. I use they, she pronouns. I am a professional musician and the artistic director of Shout, Minnesota's trans and gender diverse voices. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Shout Minnesota. I am also a professional musician playing in a cabaret-ish performance of Hair this Friday. If you're in the Twin Cities area, come check us out at Capone Art Park at 7 p.m. It's going to be great. And last but not least, I'm a streamer here on Twitch. I stream sporadically and when the energies of the universe deign to grace me. So check me out at Rika Honda. That's RIKAHONDA. And I think that's all I do. With that, I'll pass it on to Erica.
Hi, everybody. It's me. I'm an Erica. She, her pronouns. I play Vinox Scherzo, that lovable elf sorceress with dragonborn ancestry who will steal your gold and your heart, if your name is Rev especially. And I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm also exploring the world of voiceover for the first time. So that's something I'm trying to get into. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 lately. So if you like horses or you like cowboys and cowgirls and cow humans, which is a funny sentence to say, come join me on Twitch. I'm at Erica Newgirl, and you can find me at Erica Newgirl on every social media platform that I'm on. Yeehaw! And with that, I will pass to not Dewey. Are you okay? Never mind. I'm gonna pass it on to C.
Dewey's dead.
I gotta do my Max impression. Hey guys, how's it going?
Wow. That tea life.
Oh my god. Anyway, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a dancer, digital artist, tabletop streamer, creative consultant, dungeon dramaturg. I do a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats. I'm in a lot of stuff. You can find me streaming on Twitch, basically just on Tuesdays now, at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time-ish, if I'm not late to my own streams, which I always am, doing lots of gay, very trans art, mostly of this campaign, but sometimes other things as well. You can also find me posting said gay art on my social media platforms, on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, at PieSharpArt. I'd love to see you there. Good morning. Surprise, I am gay. I know, surprise to everyone. And with that, I'll pass it back to Connie with some Patreon announcements. Ho, 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 ho.
Yes, so I just want to give a big thank you to our Patreon paragons. These are patrons pledged to our highest tier on Patreon. We truly cannot do this without all of you. So a big thank you to Abigail Reitel, Azra, Brooke Bright, Charles, Cora Eckert, Lex Slater, and Purple Mouse. Here is a special haiku that I'm gonna do. I've decided I'm gonna write a haiku for our paragons every stream as an added reward. So here's a special haiku I've written in your dedication, which is 5 trans D&D nerds telling cute queer stories give you heartfelt thanks. So I hope you enjoyed that. And with that haiku out of the way, I'm going to pass along things back to C.
That was kind of adorable, actually. I'm not to be gay, but that was gay. Just as a thank you so much again to all of our Patreon supporters. Another reminder that Arc 1 Episode 1 and Episode 2 are now available in podcast form on Spotify, Apple Music, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts. Podcast episodes will release every every Tuesday, not every other Tuesday. We're doing every Tuesday from Arc 1 onward. And I am also editing those podcasts now, so you're welcome. Patrons will get early access to all the podcast episodes, as well as exclusive character sheets, Connie's GM notes, and the chance to have your tabletop OC's cameo in this campaign. Amazing. Lots of stuff. So you can join the Patreon by using !patron in chat to pull up the link. And another exciting announcement. So many cool things that we are doing. I know. Shoot Your One Shot. Shoot Your One Shot is a series of 4 one-shots set in Andake, and every game will feature a different Transplanar PC and 3 to 4 BIMPOC guest stars, people who use the hashtag BIMPOC Shoot Your Shot hashtag at us, which is amazing. Wow, we're like embarrassed. Wow, y'all are so cute. So tune in. Put this down in your calendars right now. Tuesday, June 13th, Tuesday, June 20th, Wednesday, June 28th, and Wednesday, August 4th from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, except for that first Tuesday date will be from 2 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. On Twitch, on June 13th, 2 p.m., we are playing Moku, a high seas D&D adventure with Manaia versus a storm and perhaps a sea monster. On June 20th, we're playing Hazard Pay.
See. It's July.
July. Connie screwed me over. July 13th, we're playing Moku, which is a high seas D&D adventure with Manaia versus a storm and a sea monster. July 20th, we are playing Hazard Pay, a survival horror game with Dewey and his fellow employees at the URL struggling to contain an escaped experiment. June 28th, we're playing Your Good Friend, a thrilling heist with our very own Vinox Scherzo to steal a book from the library of the Royal Palace of Toulon. And finally, on August 4th, we are playing Mercy, Mercy Me, a dangerous rescue mission with me as Okahye into the depths of a monster lair. We will continue to be collecting tips through the entire campaign that will be split evenly between us and our guest stars. So we are putting money directly back into the hands of these amazing individuals. We really would love your support. We'd love to see you in chat and get some deep Andake lore, our PCs, before all of this ever started. So use !one shot in chat or donate to contribute early to our tip jar, and we would really appreciate it. And with that, this is that long ass spiel. I'll pass it over to Erica,
who is just setting up her dice tray and dice, because why would I have done that when we were actually getting ready for this? I don't know. But anyway, you know what I like to do here. I like to thank people. We love to thank people who support the channel with subs, gift subs, cheers, hosting, rating, and these are the folks who did it during our last episode, Arc 3, Episode 9. Rika Honda, Purple Mouse TK, Erica Newgirl, Pie Sharp, and It's Probably Okay. Moving on to this episode, we have a 25 sub goal. 5 subs nets us a point of collective inspiration with the maximum of 3. 15 subs gets us an auto crit on the board, which anyone, including the GM, can use. And 25 subs unlocks the ultimate prize. One of the players has to monologue in character about the situation at hand. Whoa, it's wild.
Oh,
anyway, and with that, Connie, you're the GM. Can you please remind me what's happening? Because I take terrible notes.
Absolutely, I will. So, past session, Arc 3, Episode 9. Usually it's Max who does this. Let's see if I can do this off the top of my dome. After the carnival explodes, right, our heroes wake up back in the heroes' quarters in the Tower of Risk and Reward in Raso, the capital city of the championship of Nabal. Dr. Aluso's strike team greets them when they wake. Dr. Aluso, Squeak, Tanga, Xiaohu, and of course, Rev and Talat Ohm are there to welcome Oka, Manaia, and V back to the land of the conscious. Apparently, what's happened while they've been out is 3 to 4 weeks have passed. Even though for them it only felt like a few hours, maybe a day or two at most, while they were in Clothal Jungle. Number 2, the carnival is gone, and with it, Cain. But everyone else at the carnival has returned, except for Cain. It stands to reason that Skad and Nectis, the shattered echoes of these gods of risk and reward, have plunged into Cain and are now wreaking havoc. But for what purpose, and why, and where, no one knows. Dewey is also comatose. Dewey will not wake up from their deep slumber, and our PCs figure out it's because deep down he doesn't want to, / he doesn't have the capability to do so. So we might have a Dewey treat coming up. Our heroes finally decide to meet with Atalanta, the current champion of Nabal, to just figure out what's going on, who's the new champion now that the challenge is technically over, ? And they learn from Atalanta that she's under a lot of pressure from the public to name a new champion of Nabal. She is overstaying her welcome. It's been over 5 years since she's taken the crown. It is time to pass it on. But who is she going to name when the championship challenge isn't technically over because Cain still hasn't technically returned? Our heroes decide, you know what, Atalanta, give us a week. We'll find Cain, we'll figure this out, and we'll figure out who will become the champion when we cross that bridge. Unfortunately, listening in on this conversation, Quicksilver, the Yuan-Ti former regent of Nabal, who is now working for Bloodthirst, right? The former champion of Nabal before Atalanta, who now runs a successful criminal thieves guild operating out of Raso that could give the Aurochs guild up in Dabathati a run for their money, known as the Kusing Guild, right? Quicksilver demands that the Kusing Guild is cut in on this clandestine backroom deal, and now it's a race against the clock. Will our PCs or will the Kusing Guild find Cain first? Because whoever does will become crowned the next champion of Nabal. And I believe last session we left off with Manaia, Dr. Luso, Oka, and V at the bottom of the Tower of Risk and Reward, ready to set out and poke into Raso to see where the Kusing Guild might be, because unfortunately, though they're our rival, they are the biggest lead we have on where Cain might be. Did I miss anything?
That was very thorough, Connie. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to me talk for like 2 minutes in a row without interruption. So with that out of the way, I'm now going to pop things over to Lyra for the title of this episode and an explanation about what that's all about. Lyra, go ahead.
Of course. Now, moving on to the title of Arc 3, Episode 10. As always, the titles of our episodes are taken from poems or songs written by queer, trans, and or people of color. The title of this episode, Killing Tool to Catch Light, is from the poem The Man in Black, which is from the Malevolent volume by Justin Philip Reed. The full verse reads, "A pocket where lies folded the vast wild potential of my killing tool to catch light."
Thank you so much, Lyra. And now, moving on to the session itself, let's get into it. Some content warnings for our campaign, and this session in particular may include abuse, comas, fantasy violence, natural disasters, alcohol and substance use, addiction, death of loved ones, memory loss, emotional trauma and baggage, self-destructive behavior, bloodletting, cults and cult-like behavior, and anxiety and panic attacks described in detail. As a reminder, you can get a list of these content warnings at any time by typing !CW in chat. And now I should also have an updated recap document in chat. Use !recap for that updated document. Thank you to those who have been pulling it up. And with that out of the way, let us begin. Our session opens on smoke, trailing off the end of a lit cigar that a heavily bearded gnome is chomping on. The gnome sits at a poker table in a dark, velvet-walled room, inspecting the contents of a leather pouch. He's flanked on either side by big, beefy bodyguards in immaculate suits. And sitting across from the gnome, wringing their fingers rather nervously, are a green-skinned tiefling, a hummingbird-like Aarakocra, and a dirty, dirty goblin. The gnome reaches into the pouch and pulls out a pair of obsidian-rimmed goggles. And the gnome speaks. "Now, where'd a trio of mucks like you get your paws on goggles a night, huh? The demand for these things is huge. Manufacturing can't keep up." "We took 'em off some rich kid coming out of Juarez." "Hey, shut up, Quailheart. Yeah, shut up! What my associate means," says the green-skinned tiefling lore, "is, we acquired them through extremely legal and legitimate means." "Right. and I'm a champion. You blood stompers know I'm a fence, right? I don't care how you got 'em. They're no longer your concern. The gnome drops a fat satchel of coins on the table as he rakes the goggles toward him, and the blood stompers greedily snatch up these coins. Now, you fellas keep selling me your legally acquired goods, and I'll keep cutting you a profit. And maybe one day we can talk about the blood stompers' initiation into Kusing. The blood stompers look at each other excitedly, but before they can respond, the wall behind them shimmers as a blue-skinned tiefling passes through magically. They look ragged, disheveled. Their usually perfectly coiffed hair and stormy tassels framing their face. They're not wearing any shoes, and their bare hands are stained with blood. The blood stompers stare dumbly as the gnome suddenly stands up, his face blanching. Cain, what are you? Where did you? But you're missing. Where have you been? Cain's form flickers like an image caught in static. And then they're in front of the gnome, one hand wrapped around his neck, slamming him against the opposite wall. The two beefy bodyguards leap into action to protect their charge, but Cain lazily sweeps their arm and an invisible wave of force, bam, bam, pummels both guards into the air. One crashes into the poker table, splintering the wood. The other hits a wall, goes slack. The blood stompers, they scream and they flee, the door slamming shut behind them.
Cain, wait, please, let's talk this out, you see?
Cain's eyes are dead, but a strange, vicious fire flickers in their depths. They raise a blood-stained hand, and then they plunge it into the gnome's chest. The gnome lets out a hair-raising shriek of pain, and as they do, we cut quickly to the carpeted hallway outside, where we hear nothing, because this room is soundproofed. They cut back in.
God, what are you doing, Cain? What is this?
The gnome screams as Cain pulls his still beating heart out. It's wrapped in a faint, murky glow, the color muddied somewhere between gray and brown, and the gnome continues to scream. Cain calmly cocks their head to the side. As I suspected, not worthy. I'll enjoy this part. And then they crush the gnome's heart in their hand. The gnome gasps, his eyes going wide. He trembles, and then he goes slack. And Cain just tosses his discarded body onto the ground. That's for ratting me out, Sully. You should have never crossed me. If it weren't for you, I'd be free by now. And with that, they phase through the wall and vanish. And now we cut to the blood stompers scrambling out of a gambling parlor owned by the Kusing Guild. They shove past the bodyguards at the entrance and come to a stumbling halt in an alleyway, gasping and panting in fear. And Scrum the goblin's going, "What the hell was that? What the hell was that? What the hell was that?" Lore grabs his shoulders and shakes him like a rag doll. "Calm down, Scrum, calm down!" Was that Cain? Like, the Cain? But I thought they were missing. What were they doing with Sully? What do we do, Lore? As the blood stompers freak out, we pan to a soot-faced orphan skulking in the darkness of the alleyway. They eavesdrop on the oblivious blood stompers' conversation, and then when they've heard enough, they scamper off. And now we follow this orphan, scampering through the dirty, cobbled streets of Raso until they arrive at a fruit stand, operated by another orphan. The first orphan whispers into the second orphan's ear, who nods grimly and runs off. They take back alleys and hidden streets, getting under people's feet, weaving behind market stalls, but never getting noticed by anyone because, honestly, who looks twice at a hungry orphan? This orphan arrives at a cobbler's where they whisper into another orphan's ear, who runs off to whisper into another orphan's ear, and another until we arrive in a dimly lit chamber, where all around us we hear the echo of running water. A low flame hanging from the ceiling illuminates a lavish throne made of bones, upon which sits a figure cloaked in darkness. A rabbit folk, orphan, approaches this throne. She walks up the dais, hops onto the armrest made of femurs, and whispers into the seated person's ear. We see a pair of blood-red eyes opening, and then we see a wicked, curved smile full of sharp teeth. My. Is that so, Hansa? Good job. Here. The shadow produces a handful of glimmering gold pieces that it hands to the orphan girl. Take this to your siblings. Share the wealth. You did well. A paw ruffles the hair on the rabbit folk's head, and she beams in pride. She takes the gold, hops off the armrest, peels off. And on the armrest she vacated, a paw emerges from the darkness, and 5 gold-tipped claws unsheath to tap, tap, tap against the bone. So that's what you're up to, Cain. That's what you're doing. But who are you gonna kill next? Why, the heart. And most importantly, how did you get this power? And now, we cut to the Tower of Risk and Reward, specifically the base, as several figures stride out into the open air of Raso. We see Oka, Manaia, V, followed by Dr. Aluso, and trailing not far behind, Rev, Talat Om, and Xiaohu. What do the 3 of you do?
We're heading to the plaza of hold on, what are my notes? The plaza of the Dreams District.
Yes, the Plaza of Dreams and Knowledge. That is where Atalanta told you that the Kusing Guild operates out of.
I think Oka is gonna walk, quietly in silence. It's been 3 weeks technically, but they're gonna walk quietly, watching Manaia's back very closely, as I think she's leading the charge. But wait until we kind of get to the main plaza in the Dreams District before stopping. Keeping the thread on wherever Cain is taut, following it.
Okay. Manaia, V, what do the 2 of you do as you walk?
V is very sort of in her own world. I think she is looking around at all the buildings as they're walking. And I think at some point, she seems distracted and kind of stops walking, and almost the group kind of coming up behind almost has to push her along a little bit. And you can tell something's on her mind, but she's still kind of following the group a little bit.
Okay. And what about Manaia?
Manaia makes a point to be in the front, leading the charge, but is otherwise wordless, feigning an air of confidence that she knows where she's going.
Sure. Maybe you're looking at the street signs as you go by. As the 3 of you walk and V, you trail behind. You feel someone bump into your back gently and a hand rest on your shoulder. As the smell, I think, of charcoal and a warm fire greets your nose. As Rev leans in, right, her shadow falling over you. She's got her hood pulled up. V. Hey. Hey. Are you here? Are you with me?
V kind of shakes off a bit and, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about something that God said to me. They said that I may be their paragons, but I'm not their god. They're not my gods. And I can't stop thinking about that.
Scott and Nectus are jilted right now, V. Like I said, it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of how broken and scared they feel.
That's interesting because that's kind of how I feel right now.
Broken and scared?
A little bit.
Rev slows down, keeps pace with you, looks down at you with these kind golden eyes. Like a mountain towering over you. How can I help? How do I fix this? How do I fix you?
V's very just kind of shuffling her feet. She's like, I don't know how to worship the gods. And I want to learn.
Maybe I can help. Before I was Rev, I was a holy woman. I know something of prayer and worship. If you want to... Oka, Manaia, doctor.
Huh? What? What's wrong?
What?
Nothing's wrong. It's just, why don't you go on ahead? V and I are going to take a minute. We'll catch up.
Fine.
Okay. Meet us, well, we'll be able to see you.
Okay. With that, Rev is going to, still with that hand on your shoulder, steer you, off, right? In a different direction from where the party's headed. And as she does that, we're going to cut back to the front of the party, Oka, Manaia, Dr. Aluso. As you walk, I think, Manaia, as you lead the charge, Dr. Aluso's going to look between you and Oka, from Oka to you, and from you to Oka, and just clear their throat and go, pleasant day, isn't it? The weather is quite unpredictable.
Is that something that happens on pleasant days, unpredictable weather?
I was just going to say the weather feels charged. Like there's something about to come, but it hasn't come yet.
We have light. We can see. We can find Cain. But first, Kusing Guild.
Yes, I agree with all of that. I agree with your assessment, Manaia. And just as a reminder, we have to be careful. The Kusing Guild, as they stand right now, they are our chief rival in trying to find Cain. They can't get their hands on them before we do.
Oka will slow down a little bit and almost kind of if Manaia is still just going forward, just kind of tug on the back of Dr. Aluso's elbow to try to get them to slow down a little bit.
Yes. Oka, is something the matter?
I know where Cain is.
What?
I know where Cain is. There was a blood thing. I can find them. But I don't think it's a good idea for all of us to come at them so fast.
And why not?
Because if you were being piloted by god powers beyond your control and suddenly 5 huge people trying to tear them out of you came rushing forward. Is there something in your eyes, Doctor?
Oh.
And Oka kind of grabs the sides of Dr. Aluso's face and pulls them kind of close and is looking at them. Your eyes are darker than they used to be. And your hair, too?
Yes, excuse me. I wasn't sure if you would notice if it was noticeable. But yes, it's been basically a month since I've been away from the Euclid, and, I suppose my eyes and my hair are going back to their natural shade.
What do you mean? What?
I don't have blonde hair and blue eyes naturally, okay? I maybe figured it was obvious. My theory is that many years of being exposed to whatever magical radiation is coming from the depths of the Euclid, it's a theory I'm working on, have altered my appearance. And now the farther away I am from that radiation, well, and they run their fingers through their hair, which is still blonde, but it's getting darker, right? And they blink their eyes underneath their glasses, which are still blue, but they're, again, getting darker.
Oka kind of nods and then is like, okay, right, okay. That's for later. Okay.
I don't know if y'all could hear that, but Bobo is throwing up in the background yet again, which is why we had to cut our mics for a second, because he's disgusting. So let's take that from what Oka said.
They just... I see. Good to know. I think I should go find Cain.
Oka, are you sure? They're dangerous. And they have the power of 2 shattered gods inside their soul, with which they can create any number of phenomena and miniature cataclysms that we're not even aware of the scope of.
Doc, I am also dangerous, and I also have the shattered remains of a god taking residence in my soul. I'll be fine.
Fighting fire with fire, I see. V would approve. Fine. Go find Cain if you know where they are. Try to reason with them, talk them down. Appeal to the person that's still in there, like you did with Ravi. If you can. You're right here, Oka. Force is not the way to go with someone like them. They're a dangerous, wounded animal right now. Just a lot more powerful than most.
Trust me. I understand that. And Oka actually turns and looks at where I think Manaia has gone over, is maybe looking at 2 different street signs or something. And give me a second too. I'll walk with you to the plaza. That's where they are anyway.
The rest of your group, minus Rev and V, make it to the Plaza of Dreams and Knowledge, where blue and silver colors are fluttering, and the sculpture here is quite different from where you just left, from the Plaza of Risk and Reward. It's a lot more flowy. There's water fountains that are going. You see a bunch of libraries and vaults where scrolls are kept, etc. Laboratories as well, workshops here, etc. Definitely seems to be a repository of knowledge here. Dr. Luso pauses. When you arrive, I think you're standing in the middle of a market square, right? Where people, despite the apocalypse, are still going about their daily business because, hey, coin still has to flow. The world still has to turn, even in the wake of the cataclysm. And Dr. Luso nods for you to do what you must do next, Oka.
Manaia, come help me look. I think there's something over here. They lie kind of poorly, but start walking away.
Manaia is gullible enough to believe them. Ugh. Right, what do you see? And she starts walking over.
I see someone with a lot of hope who for the first time has had that fucking shattered. And Oka pauses kind of in a corner of the square, under the shadow of one of these big buildings, and leans against the corner of the wall and looks at Manaia.
What? You talking about me?
Of course I'm talking about you. This is what I was afraid of. It's not every day you meet someone with a heart like yours. Big, open, unsullied, maybe? But that's always the problem. It's because the first hurt is always the most vicious. What is this, Manaia? What are you doing?
What? I'm just doing what you do every day.
Doing what I do. And what is that?
What I'm doing clearly isn't working. And what you do does. So I'm being like you.
Being like me. And Oka leans back and kind of like kicks their heels and looks at the sky. No. No, you're not. Manaia, have I ever told you how I decide which monsters to rehabilitate and which to kill? I don't just go around killing monsters for glory and gold. This is a job. My past turned me into a monster, and I did what I could with that. I look at everything, look at all the world around me. How many monsters? Did this town of miners encroach on what used to be a Bulette's home? Destroy their ancient tunnels to build their own? Do they lash out in harm and in pain? Or do they hunt for pleasure? There's a difference. But once you take that step, Manaia, once you kill in cold blood, I put my knife in your chest. And that's not who you are. It's not who I am. Whatever idea you have of me is wrong. You still have people who love you, Manaia. Do you think Kahailani would be proud to see what you did in Atalanta's chamber? Napua? Nali?
Do not
would they be proud?
Speak. Don't speak their names.
You know I'm right. I understand, Manaia. I do. That was fucked up. These impossible fucking challenges the gods keep throwing at us, the destruction. How do we fix this? There's no way to fix this. But there are still people who love us, who love you. And if you turn their backs on them, then there's no hope for anyone. And I will not follow you there. You told me that your axe is a tool, not a weapon. I am a knife, Manaia. You all are a shield, a spirit, a wave, a volcano. Let yourself be who you are. Because this is not you. I will not let it be you.
You see a single tear well up in one of Manaia's eyes, but before it can fall, she wipes it away really quickly. It goes and says, "Then what do I do? Everything I've done has only resulted in pain, suffering, and death. Haven't helped anyone. Those two men in the pits, I could have saved them. And I didn't. I failed. I
You
could have
failed.
saved my mother, and I didn't. I failed." But you have a god inside of you that doesn't belong. You have powers I could have never imagined could exist. What else was I supposed to do? You're obviously doing so much more for the world than I am, than I ever could. So what?
Manaia. You don't see it, do you? You don't. We've been following you. The only reason I haven't fucked off and stayed in the carnival, fucked off and gone somewhere else to die, to throw myself at monsters until eventually I lost everything, is because I could see the hope in your eyes, that we could do something about it. And it reminded me what I'm here for. Those men in the monster fighting pits, I know their type far well than you do, Manaia. People choose their own destinies. You could not have saved them. And it's not fair to put that on yourself. We do what we can with impossible choices. They knew the risks. They took one misstep. It happens. People die. We weep, and then we stand up and we keep fighting. Because there are still people that we care about. Let's split up. Look for anything you can on the Kusing Guild. And then we'll meet back here. And Oka
Yes.
kind of...
Manaia
ahead.
mumbles a little bit. "Yes, Captain." "All right, okay."
Oka starts to walk past and then kind of pauses and puts a hand on Manaia's arm. I know it hurts. It's like it's like giving birth. It's going to keep hurting for however long it takes. But maybe afterward, something beautiful is born. Find what you can. And Oka slinks off into the crowd.
Manaia holds her hand over where Oka touched her for a long, long minute before taking a deep breath. Walking out.
On Manaia walking, we cut to V and Rev. walking up the steps to a beautiful marble strewn temple to Scott and Nectus. You see a statue of either god holding up the entrance into this tunnel. Scott, this half-elf with this braid, and even though this statue is pure white marble, you can see where the artist dappled freckles on their strong, rounded face. Brawny arms extended above their head to support the overhang of the entrance to the temple. And Nectus, this tiefling with broken horns, right, with a bagpipe slung around their back, also holding up her side of the temple with one lithe arm. Huge. Think like a Roman temple, right, to like Athena or Minerva. The two of you walk in, and everything gets darker, right? The light, the chatter of the marketplace, the smells of meats grilling and vegetables turning on stiles, all of it fades off as you walk into this temple to Scott and Nectus.
V looks around. So this is what a temple looks like inside. It's
You've never been inside a temple?
You know, I once went near a temple to Sen back in Jukai, but
You're from
it's
Jukai?
just-
I guess I actually don't know that much about you.
that's actually I don't know that much about you either.
Right. But you said you loved me. Maybe this is a good place to start. As Rev talks, she leads you down this massive hall, right? You see several other worshippers. You smell incense burning, right? And you see pictures of the depictions of the other gods, right? But they're smaller, right? All leading up toward the shrine at the back of this temple, a vast statue. It's huge. It's maybe a story tall of Scott and Nectus intertwined, right? Not as a single being like you saw, their faces superimposed over each other, but two individuals but embracing. And there's all sorts of offerings, incenses everywhere. People are kneeling on prayer mats and bowing and muttering sutras and prayers as they give offerings and thanks to the gods. And there's just tons of offerings at the base of Scott and Nectus. You see peaches, you see gold coins, maybe your eyes linger on those. You see gems, you see what look to be precious heirlooms, old ceramics, etc. There's several people in here, but not too many, and no one spares either of you a glance. So your voices sort of ring out in this hushed, hollow tone. So you're from Jukai, I'm from the court. Your name is V. Noksherzo, I'm Rev, though a name I left behind is Mist. Mist Stiltwalker.
I left a name behind too, and it was actually at the carnival. My name's Vasanti.
Vasanti?
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah.
Veronica, not Victoria.
Not Veronica, not Vicky, not Victoria, not... Oh my gosh, I've had so many. When you're 110 years old and you keep making up V names,
You're how
I've
old?
run 110?
That's... Wow, you're one of the oldest people I've ever met, I think.
Yes, us elves can live quite some time. It's,
Not all
I've-
elves. That's quite an unusual lifespan.
well, it's the only lifespan I've got, so I guess I just didn't know any different.
Oh, you don't look a day over 30.
Well, you know, I
Are
keep
you thinking
myself
at most say 25?
you know, I'd be blushing a little bit. It's this is very new territory for me, and I must say quite the setting for is this our first date? Is this what's happening right now?
I think you've been on several dates, but they've never been named as dates, right? So this is yet another one. Sacred temple to the gods who rejected you. No biggie for your first date. You pull up at the base of the shrine to Scott and Nectus, and Rev gets down on her knees and sort of nods at you to copy.
V Or like looks and then like goes ahead and follows Rev's lead.
And then Rev makes a gesture, right? And she explains the gesture, like her hand sort of goes, points to the north, the south, the east, and the west. And she says, we acknowledge the 4 directions.
V holds out her hand and acknowledges the 4 directions.
And then we touch our foreheads to this holy ground 3 times. And she like goes down, slowly and intentionally and up. And does it like 2 more times.
V looks at it, looks at the ground. All right. And V lowers her head down and touches the ground and repeats 3 times.
And then Rev picks up, there's sort of like a little depository nearby, full of incense, unlit incense. And she like picks up like several incense sticks and hands them to you. And she takes several for herself as well. And there is like a little like really hot logs, I think, in a corner. And she touches the tip of the incense to that log and it catches on fire and smoke begins to trail. And now for as long as the incense burns, we pray.
V just holds her palm to the end of the incense and just like a little flame flares up and lights it on fire.
I don't know how they do it here really, but in the court, the first prayer is for the dead. The second prayer is for the living. And the third is for those who have not been born yet. So for my first prayer, I dedicate it to Leaf. For my second prayer, I dedicate it to you, V. And for my third prayer, I dedicate it to the world we'll leave behind.
V thinks for a moment and the tears starts coming down her face a little bit. And my first prayer is gonna be for my mother, Paya, passed long, long ago. My second prayer be like looks at Rev and just like deep inside her heart is just like swelling. It's to you, Rev. And then for my third prayer, now she's thinking of this, like images of her mind between the nightmares that she's been having for months and that vision of at Scott and Nectus that she had. And then it's like traveling through all that, and at the end is like maybe just almost like this glowing halfling child. And that's what V like holds on to.
Interesting. Okay, Erica, I'm going to give you a point of inspiration there. I am intrigued. A halfling child. The 2 of you say your prayers, and I think you sit there until the incense whittles down, and there's nothing but ash on your hands. And then Rev smears the ash on her head and gestures for you how to do it as well. And says, the final step is usually to leave something behind. She reaches into the robes, right, of her like feather dappled cape. And she pulls out some gold coins, I think etched with the emblem of the court. And she stands up and reverently sets them down at the shrine. What are you leaving behind, V?
Oof. V pulls out her pouch of gold coins. She also has her other hand on her tie, and she's thinking which would be more important for her. And she takes off the tie, pulls it out of her head, and leaves it.
Wow. Take another V-spo for that. Wow. Okay, yeah. You leave your Kelly green tie behind on this shrine to Scott and Nectus. And Rev looks at you and nods solemnly. You see like approval, like in her golden eyes. And she says, I'm sure your mother would be very proud to see where you are now. I wish I could have met her.
You know, I thought at the time that she was a very sick woman, but now I think she was very special and she was just ahead of her time. She knew things very, very long ago that I'm only starting to find out now.
At that, Rev pauses and quirks her head and says, perhaps out of the blue, she was clairvoyant?
Well, I don't know if she was clairvoyant or not, but she believed that I had a dragon for a father and that I was destined for something incredible.
Well, at least one of those things is true. My wife, she's gone now. The myriad and all. She was clairvoyant. I suspect that's why the myriad. It's likely your mom saw the truth. She was seeing some version of the future that was accurate, and that aside, V, I'm very proud of you. Dedicating your love to the gods is perhaps one of the first steps you can take toward healing. And with that, she steps in and holds you on either side of your arms.
V sort of like puts her head on her shoulder and there's a little bit more and like puts her other arm like around and just sort of not like sobbing, but just sort of like just needs a moment to just like take it all in, and her heart is just like feels like it's overflowing.
Oh. Rev kisses your forehead and wraps you up in a big hug and squeezes you. And I think on her, like, her feathered cape, sort of like going over your shoulders, right? We are going to do a quick cut now to I was going to say Lyra. To Manaia. Manaia, you are looking for clues about the Kusing Guild. You are here in the Plaza of Dreams and Knowledge. There are all manner of shops, libraries, etc. all around you. Where do you begin your search, and do you take anyone with you?
We agreed to split up, so Manaia is going to strike off on her own, mentally putting like a pin, maybe in the plaza, for a place to come back to. She's going to start in some shops. A lot of people go in and out. Maybe someone said something.
Okay. So a shop that sticks out to you is due to its smell, I think. Your nose maybe twitches and you smell the delicious, like sweet, but there's also some savory in there, smell of baked goods. And you see like a small line of people in front of like what appears to be a humble bakery. And there is a person out front offering baked goods for free to those in need, those who might want them. And this person has like an apron on. I think it's like dotted with flour. She wears like this floppy looking like white chef's hat, right? And you also see like a sort of green twist front crop top with these rolled up sleeves over these like nice big like hardy arms, right? And like a matching maxi skirt. And she's handling these cupcakes and breads with these brown fingerless gloves, right? And this is a hill dwarf woman. And her hair is soft and pink and it's straight. And it extends all the way down to the middle of her back, right? While there are these two front locks of hair are banded with gold in the shape of a gourd, with a gold ring tied to the bottom. And she's got this like matching pink beard that goes with her hair, with a gold hair tie at the bottom of her beard. And her lipstick also matches her hair, and her eyeliner is flawless, right? And she's like passing out these cupcakes, these, like croissants and these breadsticks, and these like youtiao, which are like these deep fried like strips of dough. And she's saying, please take as much as you need. Take as much as you want. I'm here to give. Please, I have a surplus. No need to thank me, please. No money. None at all. Manaia, what do you do?
Is the line moving rather quickly? Like, if
It
she
is.
gets to 9, will she? Okay.
She's got, like, baskets and, like, bags. She's, like, got a system going, you know what I mean? And is, like, passing it out to people. She's got, like, several workers also helping out.
Yeah, Manaia's gonna get in line.
Okay. Soon enough, you're at the front, in front of this pink-haired hill dwarf lady, and she moves to hand you like a bag, like a goodie bag, right, full of just delicious treats. Here you go.
Oh, no, thank you. I just wanted to ask you a question, but I don't want to interrupt. Here, let me step to the side.
Oh, certainly, of course. Luca, why don't you take over?
Yes, Miss Brightstone.
A little gnome boy hops up to take her place. And this woman, this hill dwarf, Miss Brightstone, steps off to the side and looks at you. She smiles up at you. And as she smiles, you notice that she smiles with her eyes, most of all. And that smile is warm, makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, like the treats she's baking. How can I help you, child?
Oh, I'm looking for some information. You seem to have talked with a lot of people, and do you think you could help me? Has
Oh,
anyone... Manaia maybe leans down and goes, I'm looking for the Kusing Guild. Do you know where I can find them?
At that, her smile slips just a little. Not because it's like a mask, but because you're bringing up what appears to be a sore subject for her. This woman, Miss Brightstone, looks left, looks right, and says, Of course, I can tell you, you're not from around here, are you? That's why we're speaking in common?
No, I'm Wuhan.
I see. Oh, Wuhan. I hear they make delicious cream tarts. But that aside, yes, the Kusing Guild, they run everything this side of town, basically. And if
I do.
if Bloodthirst will have his way, they'll run all of it. I'm not my business. We're legitimate. We're not involved in any of that. But even the legitimate businesses, we have to pay what they call a protection tax every month.
Tyrants.
Oh,
Where can I find them?
They mostly live and let live as long as we meet the tax, but I've heard of those who are unable to meet it, especially now because of the cataclysm. Well, I'm just trying to do my part and help people out. They have
Good.
shops everywhere here. Fronts. She leans in and sort of like looks side to side. They appear to be legitimate businesses, but they have back rooms. And I've heard rumors, I don't know if they hold water or not, that Bloodthirst lairs, and she points down.
Another underground guild?
Another? Are there many in Uhanahi?
Nothing. Nothing. I've been on many adventures, and let's just say this is treading familiar ground.
Oh, well, you certainly look like you've been on a lot of adventures. Look at you, with your big muscles. I bet you're the mom friend of the friend group,
The leader. I make sure they're all right and that they go where they need to go.
Good on you. I think moms should be in charge as well. Listen.
Right.
I know we're just strangers to each other, but if you're trying to find the Kusing Guild for whatever reason, be careful, okay? They are powerful. Right. They're almost as powerful as the champion. Some say that the real regent of Nabal is the guild.
I've dealt with more powerful, more influential beings a few times. I'll be all right.
Okay, then. Well, my advice to you, try to find one of their front businesses and ask for the back room. But you should have an excuse for why you're there. They're always interested in more business. You know what I mean? So if you could show with a little gold, they might be more amenable to talking. But here, please have these. And she shoves the baked goods in your arms.
Oh, I
Please, old family recipe.
Manaia begins to say, "Fa- my friends will appreciate this."
Good. Make sure they all have a nibble. I'm particularly fond of the yo tiao. I have a secret ingredient that I sprinkle in there, but I'm not telling you what. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that'll be all.
Okay.
hope-
Good luck. Stay safe.
And you as well. And keep feeding the people. They need it.
Certainly. Oh, Luca, no, those are the gluten-free ones. As she turns and, like, hurries back to her stand. And on Manaia receiving this bag of delicious-smelling baked goods with this knowledge about the Kusing Guild intact, we cut to Oka.
Oh dear.
Oh dear is right. Oka, following Cain's signature, let's say, Cain's presence, tugging at the navel of your soul, right? Pulling you in a particular direction. You are led toward, a kind of dingy part of town, right? You're still in the plaza of Dreams and Knowledge, because this is a large capital city, so each plaza is still very, very big. Think like an entire neighborhood of like a capital city, right? Where the buildings grow tall and narrow and the alleyways grow particularly dark and dank, right? There's a lot of trash here. You see like a couple of the buildings are like missing entire chunks and they don't look to have been rehabilitated yet. And there's quite a few like homeless folks out on the streets here. But the one shining place in this entire area is a fighting ring, right? It's like a front. They're not even like trying to pretend that what they're doing here is a fighting ring, right? There's like a mob of people out front, in rags, kids as well, like, and they're placing bets. There's a hawker out front, like being like, these are the odds for today. And there's like a big board up front, with like all the odds for the day. And they're like collecting money, passing out tickets, etc. And there's a different line for people trying to get in to watch whatever fight's happening inside what appears to be a repurposed theater. Cain's in there. What do you do?
I think when they see the fighting ring, like an image kind of overlays itself in their memory. The fighting ring that they had gone to with Cain in the carnival kind of just like flashes this like the sweat, the alcohol, the punching, the fighting, and they kind of like jolt and pause just like in the middle of the street and maybe somebody like bumps past them, and it breaks them from that. And then they sigh and move forward into the crowd, just kind of sliding their way through the crowd, letting it just bring them inside, keeping their eyes open for Cain in here. There's a lot of people in here.
Yeah, you're like, which person are they gonna rip the heart out of? Like, who here is Cain's target? But Cain is somewhere deeper inside this building. Right? So you slide past, the folks in line, you like muscle your way past in through the front door, and you enter out into what used to be like a theater, maybe like a dance theater, like lobby. But all of the like old carpet is now like grimy with like mud. And what you're like, is that blood? And like just like unidentified stains on the ground. There's like all sorts of like these like pop-up stalls set up selling like merchandise from today's fight. And you see like two posters are being sold. It reminds me very much of like the Derby, right? Like wherever there's money to be made, like a championship person is there to make it, right? And you turn and you see poster of like a really gruff looking like dwarf man, and his name is like, let's see, Paigu the dwarf man, right? Versus a woman, a half-elf woman, and she's like posed in a very different way. Like she's got this white hair that's like slicked back, and like her eyes are this sort of like pale silver as well. And she's got this like dark like drow-like skin, and she's dressed in this like rough leather armor on her posters. It's Paigu versus Kisa for this matchup. right? Looking from left to right, people are like putting bets, people are buying merch. And deeper within, you see like various doors leading up into what used to be like presumably a proscenium theater. What do you do?
It's hard to focus, I think, with all the noise and sound on like which way they're being pulled, but they're trying to focus and pinpoint like exactly where Cain is. And I think the tether, like the closer they get, the more it becomes tangible, I think. So it's perhaps within reason that Cain also knows that I'm getting closer. Just as a flavor thing, could be fun. But I am like focusing again to try to like find that mental connection of like even looking through Cain's eyes.
Okay, why don't you roll Arcana for me?
$17.
With a 17, you are able to glimpse through Cain's eyes briefly, and they won't even know that you're there. And the image that you see as you center yourself with all these like hawkers shouting, you know, the smell of sweat and excitement and money passing through dirty hands, you sink into a state of serenity, and when you open your eyes, you are walking calmly but purposefully down a corridor. And you know, instantly you look around, you see like this is backstage. Almost definitely. You know, you like look up, you see like a ceiling that's like open with like rigging up top, you know. You see like just like this like hallway with like pipes running through it as well, and like occasionally like a pipe will like squeak and like some steam will come out. And you're headed toward, you know this, you are headed toward Kisa's dressing room. You're almost there. And then you snap back into your body. What do you do, Oka?
Oka takes off in a goddamn sprint, is what they do. They know where it is, but they don't know how to get there. So they're just kind of like shoving through people, like trying to find any doors that like go to backstage, you know, or like trying to, usually you can get onto this like, you know, backstage by going all the way through the crowd, but they're trying to like stick to the edges or even go up the balcony to get to backstage kind of thing. Just hurrying and trying to get there.
I need you to make a wisdom survival check to get there as fast as you can.
Unnatural 20.
Okay, I think what that means is you're able to get there and intercept Cain before they try to do what they have to do. You are able to work your way through the crowd, through like the excited and eager throng. You like push your way through, you know, look around, no one stops you, right? If you pretend that you work here, then you work here. You push through a door that leads into like a quieter area, right? Maybe the door is even labeled "Do Not Enter," right? In Abelish. You go down a flight of stairs and now you're in like this hallway where it definitely looks to be backstage, and you're walking and like the sigil that you've carved into Cain's blood is burning in your own vessels, right? And your heart begins to beat kind of faster as your soul realizes it's getting closer to Cain's soul as you walk. And then you turn around a corner and you're down that same hallway that you saw in your mind's eye not like 30 seconds ago or a minute ago. And you hear it now. You hear footsteps coming down from just around the bend. What do you do?
First of all, this sign can't stop me because I can't read Namalish. Second of all, just Oka's running, you know, once they're back in this back room where nobody can see them, they're like running down the hall, and they just like skid around the corner and maybe even like bump into the other wall, you know, and they just go, Cain, Cain.
As you skid around the corner, you see Cain's back. Those like beautiful iridescent multicolored robes that are now kind of stained with blood, right? Almost like they clawed their way out of someone's stomach. They stop, you know, and you see like their kind of disheveled, like almost matted hair, like spilling down around their shoulders. They freeze. And then they turn so you see their profile. And their like a single eye slides to the back and fixes on you. They don't say anything. What do you do?
Cain, I know you're in there. Just me. You remember me?
I want you to roll.
Not charisma, please. Anything but charisma. charisma.
A charisma a charisma persuasion check with advantage because they do know you. And remember, and you have, I won't even remind you about your inspiration.
Or an auto crit.
We do have an auto crit.
Okay, but I did roll a natural 19. -2. 17. 17.
Okay, with the 17, they pause, right, at what you say. And, like, their eye, like, remains fixed on you. They don't move, but they do respond, and they say, "Oh, ka."
Yeah. Yes, good. Remember, we were here, sort of, together. And Oka's taking a few slow, tentative steps forward. You're okay? Cain, come with me. What are you doing?
I'm finding who's worthy. She, the Visanti, is not. I'm tracking them down.
That's okay. I know a few people. Why don't you come with me?
No, I have to. I have to.
Cain. Hey. I know it hurts. And little bits of red lightning just start crackling, just little ones up over Oka's like arms and skin. I don't know if Vinash is feeling any, like, they're two gods here. What's going on in my soul right now? Is there anything? I'm stirring it up. I'm stirring the pot here.
Okay, I need you to roll to push your luck. There's no equivalent in D&D, so I'm just gonna have you make a straight D20 roll.
A straight D20 roll? I don't know how to make any of those. Oh my god! Can I have an inspiration. I think I'll use it now. Oh my god, an 8 and a 9. A 9.
A 9, that is not sufficient. Something bad will happen as you try to dredge Vinash out of your soul. And as a right, you have 3 inspiration, at least what I have in my notes.
Oh, it's okay. Let's do something bad. Just did a bad thing.
Yeah, Oka just did a bad thing. As you approach, I think Cain turns fully to meet you, right? And as they do, Vinash is like stirring in your soul. There's like a boom, boom, boom noise, like a Tesla coil, like ramping up inside you. Red sparks jump off of your skin. Your hair begins to like stand on end, right? As Vinash stirs within you. And as you get closer, it's almost like you hit a wall, or that you're like suddenly wading in deep water, right? As the sense of pressure radiates out of Cain. And as they turn completely, you see that the side of their face that they were facing you with is them, but the other half of their face are 3 different faces superimposed over each other, almost like glitching out, like filtering between Cain, between Skad, between Nectis, right? You see the broken horn of Nectis, and then it fades to like reveal like the freckle-covered skin of Skad, and then like the midnight skin of Cain, almost like a holographic image that's glitching, right? And Cain like twitches, and the edges of their body also seem to twitch and fray.
And as the rage starts to bubble up, Oka grits their teeth. Let them go.
And it's Nectis who speaks out of Cain's mouth to respond to Vinash speaking out of yours, Oka. Vinash! No, we will not let them go, because to let them go would to be like you. And now Skad flickers in control, is in the driver's seat now. And to be like you is to be alone, to be separated from the rest of you. Where are the rest of your heads? Where's Suraksha? Where's Thristi? Gone. You're alone and you are weak and you are broken. But we have each other, and we will not let you take us from each other. And Oka, tell me how Vinash explodes in fury.
I feel like explodes in fury is a pretty good fucking answer. Oh god, yeah. It's the fucking wings that just like, and it's almost instead of wings, the feathers are made of red electricity that just come breaking out of Oka's back and like crackling against the room. This like red electrical fucking wings. You are so afraid. You make me sick. You have your paragons, so take them and stop this nonsense.
No. No, she is not worthy of us. We have to find one who is worthy of us. She's not Ying. We miss Ying. Scott? Oh, God, Scott, what are we doing? Scott, we shouldn't be— Shh, it's okay, Nectus. It's okay, darling. You think you can take me on? You think your broken rage is enough to— what? Challenge me? Come! And let me throw you back to the depths of the Euclid where you came.
Sorry, noting that god lore for later. And Oka, runs fucking forward and their blade is already drawn.
Okay, on Oka and Cain fighting each other, not as each other, but as the Shattered Gods piloting their bodies, I think we are going to cut to a break. So we will be back in 10 minutes with a fan art reel. Enjoy the fan art that people have made. Thank you to new people in chat. I've been noticing that. It's our policy usually not to acknowledge stuff happening in chat while we're playing, but during breaks, thank you so much. The hype train in the beginning, everything, like we really, really appreciate your tuning in and cheering us on. We hope you're enjoying this so far and come back for another hour at least, maybe an hour and a half of more D&D emotional trauma. We'll see what's going on. See you in 10 minutes. It's 4:24 here, so that's 4:34, maybe 4:35-ish or so. Take a rest, drink some water, eat some food, go to the bathroom, etc. Stretch. We love you all so much, and we will see you in 10. Peace.
From a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned to swallow light, to illuminate my darkness. I learned to feel love when I look upon my dark things. I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned to swallow light, to illuminate my darkness. I learned to feel love when I look upon my dark things. I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned what to feel when I look upon my darkness. tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, blood. Yours
Okay,
Hello. See, turn your mic off. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see all of your digital non-existent faces in the chat. Welcome back to Transplanar RPG Arc 3, Episode 10, Part 2. Just look at this cool new phone case I got. Ooh, we've got a merch store, just in case you don't know. Use exclamation point merch in chat if you want a phone case or literally anything else like a shirt or a sweatshirt or anything. We've got tons of stuff. But before we hop right back into the action, a quick reminder of content warnings for this session and this episode. It may include abuse, comas, fantasy violence, natural disasters, alcohol and substance use, addiction, death of loved ones, memory loss, emotional trauma and baggage, self-destructive behavior, bloodletting, cults and cult-like behavior, and anxiety and panic attacks described in detail. That's pretty intense, so use exclamation point CW in chat anytime to get a reminder of those content warnings. And yeah, so let's hop right back into the action with a little special something. You're trapped in a nightmare. You know you are. But you don't want to wake up. No, you can't wake up. Because waking up means confronting real life, which is worse than this. Describe your nightmare to me, Dewey.
After the world goes Dewey kablooey, I come to, running down an endless smoky corridor, the sound of my feet hitting the vinyl floor echoing off the walls around me, and the sound of my breath heavy in my ears. My lungs burn, and my legs are weak, but I can't stop. If I keep running, I don't have to look behind me, and I don't have to look behind me to feel the conglomerate of pasts and people I've left in my wake. I pass by open door frames, filled with brilliant sunlight, a way out. The flames behind me lick at my ankles. My head is pounding. My vision blurs. I keep running.
And then you see her. Rose. The girl you mentored. The girl you thought of as daughter before you knew what that meant. What does she look like? And why, Dewey? Why is she running from you?
She's wearing armored leg braces made out of a sturdy but lightweight synthetic mesh, and a pack strapped to her back that houses the distiller I rigged up to refill a slim oxygen tank infused with bag of holding technology from the air on the go. Her waistband holds the tools and weapons she forged herself at my shop. Her hair is a silvery pink color and is tied into braids that fly behind her as she runs. This is what she looked like the last time I saw her, right before she headed into the championship arena. I remember her smiling back at me before she walked in. This time, there was only a look of betrayal, sadness, horror in her eyes before she turned and ran. The spark I'd cherished so much had disappeared. Because I ruined her. The whole time I knew her, I was trying to help her. But I was wrong, and I left her worse off than when we met. I was the reason she lost her faith in the world. I know I'd only hurt her more if I caught up to her, but I want what we had back. She's running off and taking what little happiness she has with her, and I selfishly want to catch up and take my share.
You're about to catch up to her. You're so close. Your fingers almost touch her, and then she turns into sand and crumbles at your feet. Standing in her place, a tiefling. Skin blue as midnight, eyes vicious like a wound. Cain laughs at you, their hands drenched in her blood, and then they wrap their fingers around your throat and they transform into the myriad. You can run, but you can't hide, Cardew. And then you sink into the darkness. What does the darkness say to you?
Nothing good lasts. Not friends, not family, not love. Look into the mirror, Dewey. You're alone. Can you rely on the strength of your character? Are you ready to go out and face the world? Do you want to wake up?
And with that, we pull out of this darkness and onto a face. A worn, feathered face. Eyes closed, lying prone on a bed in a nice room, too nice for this weathered man. And then we see Dewey's eyelids flutter. And on that fluttering, we cut back to Oka. Wings of red lightning are shot out of your back, right? Static, just fraying the air, eating up the atmosphere around you, frying up the oxygen in this underground hallway where you are confronting Cain, or rather, where Vinash is confronting Skad and Nectus inside of Cain. What do you do?
Oh dear. Vinash is just hyper powering Oka forward through whatever mire of pressure that they had felt from Scott and Nectus, and is just absolutely piloting Oka's little body here. And they're, I don't think they unsheath Dream Hunter. I think it's the Culling Edge that like tears out of Oka. As they just brute power force strike. And for the first time, I would like to rage.
Ooh, okay. Yes, you can rage. What does that look like and how does that work?
This is what it looks like. This is what it had looked like. I'm just telling you that now I'm raging.
Okay, great, wonderful. I love that. You charge forward, Culling Edge ripping out of your skin, and there's this newfound fury, right? Thrumming through your soul that such close proximity with a god that doesn't belong to you has leached, right, into how you conduct yourself through conflict, through this world, through everything you can and can't do, and you plunge toward Cain, right? Lightning jutting off of your shoulders, and the two of you collide. Right? You attack Cain, you slam them onto the ground, and the two of you roll, right, down this corridor. A noise like two elephants colliding on a battlefield, right? And Cain is, like, punching you back. Except it's not Cain punching you, it's Skad punching Vinash. You see, like, a freckled fist, like, fly out of the air, and bam! You are clobbered on the jaw with, like, an intense, incredible force. So while you're in a rage, you take half damage from, like, piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage, right?
Yes, I do.
Does that also apply to magical attacks?
I don't know.
I'm gonna house rule yes, especially if you're in the middle of like being Vinashed. So you're only gonna take half damage from this clobber, but it's gonna hit you for what's your max HP?
65.
Okay, it's gonna hit you for 17, and that is 17 halved, which is going to be 8. Yeah, 8 because we round down. 8 points of magical bludgeoning damage, right? Bam, bam, bam. Scott pummels the side of your face, but like your rage is like just like powering you through this. How do you respond? What voice rips out of your throat?
This has gone on too long. Tear yourselves apart. And Oka wraps their arms like the face that's punching them. They like grab onto it and they put one hand on Cain's chest and they pull, more so that they're trying to pull Scott apart, but it's probably going to hurt either way.
It's interesting, as you get on top, I need you to do a special roll for me, which is going to be...
As I what?
Okay, fuck you. As you... I can't think of a way to describe it around it. As you mount Cain.
No.
Oh, as you climb.
Somehow worse. Just as I grab them. What's wrong with you?
As you grab Cain's arm and you pull, I need you to roll a straight D20. Sorry,
Again, not really my forte.
A gay D20. You're welcome.
Add anything to it?
No.
18.
Okay, that's sufficient. You do what you set out to do. You pull, right? And Cain and Scott let out like a cry of like furious pain as you basically dislodge this arm from the socket, right? And Cain lets out "Ah!" And now like the contorted face of pain like morphs into Nectus, who you just hear her go, Vinash, please stop this madness. The two of you shouldn't be tearing each other apart. We need to be working together.
Oka hears. Vinash doesn't. And they kind of like let go and then try to grab again, but I think by that point they miss, you know? And Scott Cain would probably get a jump on them if so.
I think that does happen as you stall. Like the face of Nectus is pulled back. Scott comes back, and with their other arm, bam, just like punches you again, like upside the head. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'll just roll with a different dice, I think. Natural 19.
Oh my god, this one was also a 19. I'm not kidding. That was also a 19. Okay, so natural 19, what's the total?
19 plus 0.
Okay, you...
Actually, I have proficiency, so 23.
Oh, okay, then that will be sufficient. You can feel that what Scott is trying to do, like your like brain's like rattling around in your head, and there's like a burst of like iridescent light that explodes out from where they struck you in the temple. And you could tell like they were trying to like stun you with that strike, but you are able to like work through it, right? And like Vinash is swirling, furious, protecting you from that. But then Nectus is gonna kick in, and you hear her go, "The two of you, enough!" And coming from that, like her voice is like seems to be supernaturally empowered. Like a thunderous force seems to sweep out from under Cain. And I need you to make a strength saving throw.
7, but I'll take it.
You are thrown off of Cain's body, right? And you are thrown prone, maybe 5 or 10 feet away. You skid along the cement floor of this hallway, right? Vinash's like lightning is ricocheting and like echoing everywhere. Cain picks themselves up and cracks their shoulder back into its joint, back into its socket. This isn't over. If I can't have her, I'll have the grand prize. The one that will be worth it. That will be worth it all. And it's sort of a mix between Cain and Scott's voice here, right? And then they sink into the floor. The floor shimmers as they begin to disappear. What do you do as a reaction, Oka?
Me too. I go too. I'm gonna dive face first into the concrete floor.
You do, and your head just bangs against the concrete as you reach for where Cain is trying to escape, but you are unable to evoke the same kind of magic they seem to have access to. Right? And on Cain disappearing, there's like a moment of silence, and then like a door toward the end of this hallway opens, and the woman whose face you recognize from the poster is Kisa, like white hair, like peeks her head out. What?
And Oka takes out through the fucking ceiling, I think. If Scott is, or if Vinash is still sort of semi-piloting them, they have these electrical red wings. They just up and out. Out we go. Just breaking through the ceiling and wherever else. They're just going up and out.
As you go up and out, I think we could do a hard cut as you smash through the ceiling, like bits of concrete, and rubble like rain down dust, and Kisa like covers and starts coughing, like covers her face, right? We're gonna do a hard cut to Rev and V holding hands, walking out of the temple where you consecrated your love to each other, Well, no. Why am I?
What is wrong with you?
Stop! I'm using the wrong words. I'm so sorry, Lyra. An apology video to our Ace followers. I'm so sorry. I swear to God, it's a total accident. Let me restart that for the podcast. And we hard cut to Rev and we and
We hard cut to Rev and we going out of the temple.
Contribute to squeak attacks or whatever that is. Okay. We hard cut to Rev and V walking out of the temple to Skad and Nectis, where they just proclaimed their love to each other and shared intimate details about their hidden backstories that they hadn't shared with anyone else before. Holding hands, coming out now into the sunless bright of the outside of Raso. You smell all the smells that left you, the incense smoke peeling away from your skin. Rev pulls the hood back up over her head to conceal her drow-like features in shadow. She turns down to look at you, a soft expression on her face. Are you feeling more centered, V?
You know, yes, I actually feel like, and then like V like looks up and like Rev's eyes, which are like just kind of like, you can just see them shining underneath the hood and just be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be all right. I'm really glad you took me on this journey.
I'm glad you came. I'm glad you trusted me enough to go along with all the rituals and consecrations.
You know, if Skald and Nectis are lovers, you know, it's hard with all this talk of destiny to be like, there is some sense of destiny right now. Because I'm in love for the first time in a very long time.
Me too. And Rev leans in to kiss you, but before your lips meet, the two of you hear, Oka, why don't you give us a taste?
Fuck! As they just come, they fucking crash, they destroy somebody's cabbage cart, you know? Like, they just smash into it, just completely, and obliterate it, just completely. Just, it's cabbages everywhere.
Okay.
V's gonna be like, oh god, and like we'll start to take off, then like stop, turn back, run back to Rev, and like just give a quick peck, and then turn around and run back.
Oh my god, I love that. Why don't both of you have inspiration? Oka for that intro, and V for how you're reacting. You run down to where Oka is covered in cabbage leaves, and there's a very sad-looking human man there. He's just going, but my cabbages, but no, that's my livelihood.
Not in this timeline. Oka coughs. It doesn't say that. Technically, rage only lasts for 1 minute, so I think as they were swirling in the air there's some like peeling off of Vinosh that kind of short-circuited out of them, especially as probably why they started crashing. And they are in the cabbage remnants going, oh, great. 8. Fuck. Ow. And there's a huge bruise starting to form like underneath their jaw, and it's like split, and like their nose is bleeding, and they look like they got punched in the head by a god. Hi, V. Hi. Hi, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Okay, I've seen you look better. I'm okay. You look like you've been better.
I found Cain. I found Cain for a minute. Just for a minute.
You still have your heart, and V like's trying to like help Oka up, and like V also looks to this poor like cabbage seller and is like, while holding like Oka a little bit. Like she fishes into her pouch pocket and pulls out exactly 21 gold. It's like, here you go, sir. Here, I'm so sorry. That way I have exactly 666 gold right now.
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
I had to.
Hey, what about 669 gold, Erica? Think of the possibilities.
No, he can have that extra 3 gold.
Think of the
here you go.
possibilities.
Oh gosh. You go for your troubles, buy a new cart, take your family out for dinner. See. And then Oka goes back, or V goes back to like helping Oka, maybe walk more towards Rev.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wait, what's your name? So I can know to whom to dedicate my next cabbage stand to.
Wendy! My name is Wendy.
Wendy.
Oh, thank you. And the cabbage vendor like peels off with this gold, right? Rev is coming down the steps, tentatively approaching the crumbled heap of vegetable and drow that is Oka. Oka?
Hi. Sorry about that. Hope I didn't interrupt anything important.
You weren't, we were just wrapping up. What happened?
I found Cain. It's not going well. It didn't go well. I don't think it went very well. They're underground now. I think they're going for bloodthirst now. We need to hurry.
Let us go find Manaia then and see if she's learned anything about where we can find bloodthirst.
Let's hope so.
Let us find Manaia indeed.
No, it was cabbage, Connie. It was cabbage. You can't just make a pun
Cabbage-oo,
out of the wrong.
cabbage-oo.
Lettuce.
Okay.
I quit this campaign.
Honestly, I'm disconnecting right now. Goodbye.
No, wait. Oh, it's
Okay,
just me
fine.
and
I
C.
stay.
Rev, Oka, and V, the three of you head back toward the meeting location. You all agreed to reconvene in the Plaza of Dreams and Knowledge. By the time that your entire party, including Dr. Aluso, including Talat, and including Xiaohu, get back together, and Manaia, I think, is the last person to arrive here. It is now like late afternoon, right? The sky is this kind of blanched orange, right? As it turns to evening here, as we are now in Tortoise, which is autumn. So the days are starting to get a little bit shorter here. Interesting how the seasons still track even though the sun is gone. Manaia, when you come back here to where everyone's waiting, I think it's fair to say that you've done some extra snooping, some extra talking around to see where the front businesses are. So why don't you tell me, what is the most promising front business that you've found?
It's a fruit store.
I'm sorry,
You'd
could you
think it would
repeat
just
that,
be like
but closer to the mic, because that was kind of
I'm
quiet.
sorry. I was trying to think. It's a fruit store. You'd think it would be like a general fruits and vegetables grocery store, but no, it's just fruits. Because fruits grow and spoil so quickly, there are a lot of people who come in and out very frequently, which is a good prominent front for shipping literally anything you want in there.
I really like that. That actually reminds me of like the fruit stores that are in like China and like in Shanghai. It's just fruit that they have like sort of like open air. So I'm imagining something like that. That's the store you found. And you know that the back room is where the secret entrance presumably would be to the true lair of the Kusing Guild, right? So Manaia, you see the rest of your party reconvened at this plaza, maybe in front of a statue of Mengshen Zhidi, right, standing there. In the base of Mengshen Zhidi, we see now this likeness of this particular god, a man in these like long draping robes with like long hair and like an elaborate headdress done up, stroking a beard, right, holding like an armful of scrolls in one arm. Is this version of Mengshen Zhidi, right? So Manaia, you reconvene, you see V and Oka, what do you do?
That's okay. What happened? What'd you learn?
I found Cain. A bit. Sort of. The gods are not well. And they kind of touch their blooming black eye. We need to get to Bloodthirst as soon as possible. Cain is... they're still trying to look for a proper paragon, but it's... something with Cain is overlaying with them. All of their... everything about them is being filtered through the gods, and it's not going well. We need to find Bloodthirst, either to keep Cain away from them, or who knows. What did you find?
I have a lead. The Orcs Guild controls this part of Raso, and they aspire for... wait, fuck.
The Kusin Guild? You said the Aurochs Guild.
Yeah. I'm just... Right, the Kusin Guild controls this plaza. They're aiming for all of Raso, but that seems like a long-term goal. They have fronts and several businesses. Our best bet would be the fruit store.
How do we get in?
I could
According-
probably try
According
to talk.
to...
I could probably try to talk my way into something.
I talked to a bakery owner. She said, ask for the back room. That's our way in.
V,
We have
if
to have
you
a
would-
reason to get back there, though.
V, if you would do the honors.
Sure. Do we all want to go on in disguise, or do you think it's fine that...
No, we go as we are.
We don't have
They-
time.
If they recognize us, so be it.
If I may, and this is Dr. Aluso, will it be suspicious if the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so of us go in all at once? Some of us look rather, Dr. Luso looks at how tall you are, Manaia, with your axe, and also at Rev, who is huge and, people walking by are, turning to look at Rev, you know? Perhaps this might be better as a stealth mission?
The three of us, then.
3 of us first. You come in after. Give us half an hour.
Understood. That's a good idea, Manaia. All right then, V. And this is Rev. She pulls you in close. You can do this. Just do what you're good at. Lie.
A lot. Lie a lot, please.
You know me so well. And he just blushes and leans in and gets one more little kiss. Bashfully.
There's a pause, and then Dr. Aluso goes, "Are you dating? Is that what this is? Dating?"
We still need to have we're working on it. It's a hard time to date right now. Let me just tell you. But yeah, yes. He's very turning red right now.
Rev pulls you in and just says confidently, "She's my girlfriend."
She's my girlfriend.
Let's make them t-shirts and come on.
Yeah, yes, we're girlfriends.
We need merch of that, I think.
Merch store update coming soon.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's the plan. V, Manaia, and Oka, the three of you head off toward this fruit store, while Dr. Aluso, Talat, Xiaohu, and Rev hang back to give you a 30-minute lead time before they bring up the rear guard, right? Manaia, you lead your party to this fruit stand, which is sort of the front doors are wide open to allow aeration so the fruits don't go bad inside. And you see all manner of fruits, native Nabalian fruits and also quote unquote exotic fruits from Talmud, that just super normal fruits that all three of you have seen plenty in Dabathati, bananas and pineapples and mangoes from Muhanahi, more tropical fruits, as well as this thing known as like a frostberry from a rose, and it's like being like kept with like a bunch of ice so it doesn't go bad in like this weather.
Oka picks up one of the frostberries and puts it against their eye.
Hey! No sampling. If you want to touch it or squeeze it too much, you gotta buy it. Here.
And it's sort of like a shifty looking lizard folk woman that V, when your eyes fall upon the purveyor of the fruits, there's a shock as you recognize Trenchfoot, one of your many criminal contacts scattered across Andake. She's based out of Nabal. Yes, I remembered.
Waiting for her to come back.
I have been thinking about Trenchfoot for
Listen.
a month now.
So
when is Max gonna play Trenchfoot? Dewey's dead. Trenchfoot, new party member.
New paragon of Galtanger.
V, before her eyes slide onto you, what do you do?
V is gonna look back to Oka and Manaia and be like, "Don't worry, we've got a good friend here. Just leave everything to V." And V turns around and confidently, boldly walks towards Trenchfoot. Friend!
V? You're alive!
And Trenchfoot runs forward and like claps you on the back.
It's good to see you. Your hair, where's your tie?
Ugh. Trust me, friends. That vault you sent me to, let me tell you, that was a tip well explored. Received well something.
Well, hold on there, V. Is everything okay? We haven't talked in months now at this point. And the vault was surreal?
Oh my goodness, so real. I've got so much to catch you up on, but me and my friends, we've gone to ourselves a little bit of a pickle. And if you will, I hear there's rumors that you may have a very helpful back room.
Trenchfoot cocks, an eyebrow. She looks left to right. Do you speak you speak thieves' cant, right, V? That's like in your repertoire?
Episode 1.
We did.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes, I almost forgot. We did. And she says, all of this is in thieves' cant, right? She says,
yes, we do have a back room. For what business can I help you with?
Well, there's a certain, I don't like to use names, but a certain maybe guild that could help some old friends with a certain situation that has popped up here that seems to be, let's just say time is of the essence. We need to hurry. I would love to catch up more with you, but unfortunately we've got to get to, and like looking around and just sort of like, and actually uses message to cast the Cushion Guild.
Yes, of course. I can get you in, but this better be good, V. BT's got a way of tracking who lets in whom.
Well, trust me, friend. Once we meet with the old Bradford Taylor, they'll be glad to see us. They will be very glad to make our acquaintance.
Yes, of course, but you must tell me about this vault when you come back. I need to know everything. I've got a crew ready to go on your orders. You might recognize some of them from your wanton youth. That heist you pulled in Dokao all those years ago. But anyway, why don't you, satisfy the itch in my palm first, and I'll, get you in the back room.
Oh, you know that I never have any money, Trenchfoot. You know that I'm broker than broke. But, for you, because you're a great friend, and V, kind of uses minor illusion to make her bag look like it's empty. And she's, reaching around in there, and, she pulls out a single silver piece and be like, I'm sorry, friend. If I had more, I'd give it. But, I'm good for it. And plus, I have the exact location. I have it right there in my memory. V's memory is very good of where you can find the vault. I will send you there immediately after we're done. And V does a handshake and slides the silver into their hand on the handshake.
Just make a general deception check for me with advantage given all the magic you're doing.
Meanwhile, in the back, Oka's like, Manaia, where is V's tie? She looks weird.
I am going to use one of my inspirations because that was ridiculous.
Whatever
Okay.
it is, it's more important that we get into the guild. She wouldn't leave her tie without good reason.
And sorry, you said persuasion or
Deception.
Deception. Okay, well, still bad roll, but it was a 12.
Okay. Trenchfoot takes the silver from you, but like cocks her like beady lizard eye at you and says, "Okay then, V, I'll wait right here until you're done talking to the old BT, and then you're gonna tell me about the vault for my favor, hmm?"
Absolutely, 100%. I can tell you exactly where it is, how to find it, and on what day is best to maybe knock on the door.
Excellent. Ooh, we're gonna get rich, V. You and me coming up together. No backstabbing involved. Come, come. The two of you wanted to see the special fruits in the back room, yes?
Friends, come on, let's, we're gonna see the preferred customer section of fruits.
Right. Preferred customers. Yes. Let's go.
Okay. Oka, Manaia, and V, Trenchfoot leads you through several fruit aisles where like actual real customers are like looking at dragon fruit and papayas and stuff. And she takes you through a bead curtain. That's how skeevy this place is. Into like a small, like what appears to be like a storage room, right? And she takes out a key and opens a door in the back of the storage room that's just filled with cardboard boxes and wooden crates and whatnot, opens it. And it leads into another room, right, that has another door. She takes out a different key, and this room is like, also seems to be for storage, but it seems to be refrigerated, and it's like kind of colder here, almost like a walk-in freezer. And then she opens up another door with a different key, and it opens into like a small, what appears to be a reception room where you see a desk, and there's like another lizard folk behind it, like doing numbers with an abacus and like writing on like a piece of paper. And Trenchfoot goes,
Gutter Snipe. These three would like to see the back room. Hands out, please.
As Gutter Snipe, this other lizard folk pulls out an ink pad and a stamp.
This is how the old BT keeps track of who's who down there. So the three of you better not give him any trouble, see? 'Cause that trouble comes back to me.
You know the way I roll, Trenchfoot. I'd never get into any trouble whatsoever.
Then it shouldn't be a problem for stamp in your hand. Come on. Doesn't hurt, just some ink.
All right. And V holds out her non-gloved hand and awaits the mark.
The stamp goes on the ink and bam, stamps you. And when it comes away, it looks like a gross foot, like Trenchfoot, as the symbol on the back of your hand.
All right, next one. How about the big lady?
All right, let's get this over with.
Stamp, stamp, and it's on you.
All right, and you, the weird one with the weird eyes.
You weird eyes. And okay, hands their hand out.
Hold on.
They're wetting the stamp before getting it on your hand. Yet they're peering at you. And they start to turn, and you notice like a bulletin board behind them with a bunch, it's nothing but wanted posters, right? And there's a little sliver of Makoya Hien that's wanted, that's like just, and the only part that's like available is like the eye, right? So like the double pupils of like when you had long hair. And Gutter Snipe's going,
You look a little familiar, those eyes. I swear I've seen them somewhere before.
No, I got in a fight just now, and Oka has the freezer fruit just like plastered onto one side of their face, and they're kind of trying to squint with the other. No, definitely. You really want to hold us up? We're expected.
Yes, we do have important business. And actually, V cast Minor Illusion on the poster to give 3 pupils onto Makoya, just in case they decide to look. And V turns to Trenchfoot like, once again, you're lovely. And you know what? Why wait till I return? And V's going to give the coordinates of where the entrance to the Copper Dragon place was. And V's going to be like, there is a butte with an archway on top. And let me tell you, friends, the dragon there's a little dragon token on there, and all you gotta do is tell it a great joke, and it will let you into the Vault of Benoit.
Yes, get that down, Gutter Snipe. Write those coordinates down. Thank you, V. I'm glad we can finally work together again. Lady criminals, rise yet again. All right. And Gutter Snipe stamps you. They shrug. Oh, okay. I think they glance at McCoy, but they're like, oh, never mind. And they stamp you. And now that the three of you are all stamped away, Trenchfoot is in such a great mood, that you've given her these coordinates that she takes out a final key. She sticks it in a final door, and she opens it. Creak! And the door creaks open. And on that,
God damn it.
I think we can end our session for today.
Get to meet the villain very well.
Not yet. Got to build up that anticipation.
And we'll come back next week with that.
Yes, we will. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Arc 3, Episode 10. Thank you for those who have rated. The new audience members. We love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back next week. For our main campaign episode is going to be next Saturday, July 17th at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time, episode 11. Our 3 PCs are infiltrating the Acousing Guild, and Max will be back. So what the fuck is going on with Dewey? Big question mark. But before then, the first ever one-shot for Shoot Your One-Shot, our 4-session BIMPOC Shoot Your Shot series airs this coming Tuesday. That's going to be July 13th at 1 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Because 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. We moved it from 6 p.m. up to 2 to accommodate someone's schedule. But it should be from 2 to 5 or so. It's going to be great. The name of this one-shot is Moku. It will feature Manaia pre the events of this campaign, so you get to see what Manaia was like before all the trauma, where she was a sailor on the high seas, specifically on the Ruffled Tern. As the Ruffled Tern ship runs into a storm and perhaps a leviathan from the deep, and of course intra-ship conflict. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and everyone in it, including myself, is a person of color and queer and trans too as well. So please tune in. We will be collecting donations through the entire run of Shoot Your One Shot, which is a series of 4 one-shots, one every week, until Wednesday, August 4th is our last one. So if you can pitch in right now, use !donate to add some money into the tip jar, and at the end of the entire event, all money will be split equally between everyone involved. We have a tentative goal set right now for $1,000, which would pan out to be about a $40 to $50 payout for each person, which would be just amazing to compensate these amazing BIMPOP, QTPOC creators in the TTRPG space. So that's my outro spiel. You can find me, I'm your GM and producer, at By Connie Chong on itch. I have a game out. It's a 1-page micro RPG called Halo and Horns for 2 GMs, an angel and a devil, trying to persuade one player, a mortal, to do something really, really good or really, really bad. And I made it optimized for an actual play environment. So if you podcast, if you stream, if you like to play with performance in mind, this is the perfect game to pick up. Only $3, and there's a ton of community-free copies available on itch. Go to By Connie Chong, and I think it peaked at trending at number 6 on itch for popular physical games. So help me keep up that thing. I want to beat out the number 1 spot if I can. So with that, I will pass along introductions to Lyra.
Hello, everyone. My name's Lyra. I use she, they pronouns. I am a professional musician now, and the artistic director of Shout, which is Minnesota's trans and gender diverse voices, an all-trans, me-led choir based in the Twin Cities. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Shout Minnesota. I am also playing bass in a rendition of the musical Hair coming this Friday. We're going 6 performances across 2 weekends, Friday, Saturday evening, and a Sunday cabaret. So if you're in the Twin Cities area, come check us out in Capone Park, which I think is in Eagan or something. Other than that, I am a extremely sporadic streamer. Hello, here on the good old Twitch. You can find me there at Rika Honda, streaming on no particular schedule. I just kind of stream sometimes. I'll try to give you a little bit heads up, but... And with that, I'll pass it to Erica.
Speedrunning affiliate.
Oh, yeah.
Speedrunning affiliate. Hi, everybody. I'm Erica. I played Vinoc Scherzo. And if you think I forgot that the Copper Dragons called
For stewards.
whatever. They didn't pay me. All right, you think I forget? No, I'm a Scorpio. So I've been waiting for that one for a few arcs. But yes, hello. I stream on Twitch at Erica New Girl, and you can watch me playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 right now. So if you want to see me really try hard not to kill my horse Cliff by making him fall off of cliffs like I've done all my other horses in that game, you should come check me out sometime. Hit that follow button, and yeah, I stream often. So with that, I will pass it to C.
Hi, y'all. My name is C. They, them pronouns. I'm a dancer, digital artist, tabletop streamer, creative consultant for tabletop gaming, dungeon dramaturg. I did the character art that you can see here on the overlay. You can find me doing art live on Twitch sometimes at pi_sharp. You can also find me doing art, posting my art on my very gay channels on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr at pi_sharp_art. I had something else to say, but now I don't remember. That's it. That's all you'll hear from me. That's all. Goodbye.
Great, wonderful. So with that, we are going to raid someone, but before you do, don't forget to join our Discord. We did make the invite link private because of racist and sexist and transphobic trolls, but just message one of us on Twitter, right? Just say you're from this stream and we will give you the invite link. You can just message me, by Connie Chong, or Transplanar RPG Twitter account, and we will just DM you the invite link. Join our Discord community, and if you can, pledge to our Patreon for early access to podcast episodes, character journals that Twitch subs have exclusive access to otherwise, character sheets that patrons have exclusive access to, Connie's GM notes. I'm going to upload some in like the next few weeks. Like, keep your eyes peeled for that. And a bunch of other cool goodies, like getting your own TTRPG OC to cameo in our campaign like someone's just did. Brooke Bright, I hope you were watching. That was a lot of fun to play that character. And with that, we are rating Dicey Amazons. They are an all women of color, queer-led TTRPG streaming variety channel. Toss them a follow if you're not following them already. They're playing TTRPGs right now, so continue the TTRPG love train. We will see you all on Tuesday and then on Saturday. We love you all so much. Peace. Peace.